Since 2019, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships have been won by 15 different tag teams. In this video, we are ranking the quality of the championship reign based on the amount of times won, the number of days the title was held, and match quality. Now let's rank every WWE Women's Tag Team Champion from worst to best. In 15th place, we have the team of Alexa Bliss and Asuka, who held the Women's Tag Team Championships for 4 days. We have ranked this championship reign last, as this was the shortest WWE Women's Tag Team title reign ever. Alexa and Asuka won the championships on Halloween 2022 in the main event of Raw by defeating Dakota Kai and Io Sky of Damage Control in a good match. The two teams traveled to Saudi Arabia later in the week as they had a rematch at Crown Jewel. This was an extremely good match that ended up being one of the best WWE Women's Tag Team title matches. A distraction from Nikki Cross cost Alexa Bliss and Asuka the titles. In 14th place, we have the team of Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah, who held the Women's Tag Team Championships for 13 days. August 2022 saw WWE announce a Women's Tag Team title tournament, which saw Raquel and Aaliyah advance to the final to face Dakota Kai and Io Sky of Damage Control. The final took place in the main event of the August 29, 2022 edition of Raw, which saw Aaliyah and Raquel get the upset win to claim the previously vacated Women's Tag Team titles. Damage Control got their rematch 2 weeks later on Raw and defeated Aaliyah and Raquel for the titles. In 13th place, we have the team of Becky Lynch and Lita, who held the Women's Tag Team Championships for 41 days. The Damage Control vs. Becky Lynch storyline, which started in 2022, carried over to 2023 as Bayley, Io, and Dakota constantly took advantage of the numbers game. Lita made her WWE return by coming to Becky's aid. The two set their sights on the Women's Tag Team titles. The February 27, 2023 episode of Raw saw Dakota and Io defend their titles against Lita and Becky. This was a good match which saw Trish Stratus assist Lita and Becky in winning the titles. The titles were not defended once during this reign, as the focus was Becky, Lita and Trish facing Damage Control at WrestleMania 39, which they won to end the feud. On the April 10, 2023 episode of Raw, Trish replaced Lita as Becky's tag partner in a title defense, which she lost to Liv and Raquel before Trish turned on Becky. In 12th place, we have the team of Charlotte Flair and Asuka, who held the Women's Tag Team Championships for 41 days. At the 2020 TLC pay-per-view, Asuka introduced Charlotte as her surprise tag team partner to challenge Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Asuka and Charlotte managed to win the championships on this night. The team defended the tag team titles once on the Christmas Day 2020 episode of SmackDown, as Charlotte and Asuka defeated the teams of Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, Carmella and Bayley. The tag team lost the titles during the 2021 Royal Rumble kickoff show to Nia and Shayna. In 11th place, we have the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who held the Women's Tag Team Championships for 39 days. Following WrestleMania 39, Liv and Raquel defeated Damage Control on Raw to earn a title shot against Becky Lynch and Lita. The match took place on the April 10, 2023 episode of Raw, as Trish Stratus took Lita's place. Liv managed to pin Trish to win the titles. Liv and Raquel had a decent reign as they retained the titles against Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Unfortunately, during their next title defense against Damage Control, Liv Morgan suffered an injury. Later in the match, Dakota Kai also suffered a serious injury as she tried to protect Liv. Liv and Raquel won the match, but had to vacate the titles the following week due to Liv's injury. We wish Liv Morgan and Dakota Kai all the best with their recovery. We would quickly like to recommend that you check out our videos ranking the greatest Raw, SmackDown, and Women's Tag Team title matches ever after this video has ended. In 10th place, we have the team of Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross, who held the Women's Tag Team titles for 63 days. SummerSlam 2021 saw Charlotte Flair defeat Rhea and Nikki to win the Raw Women's Championship. Following this defeat, Rhea and Nikki formed a tag team and quickly managed to win the Women's Tag Team titles by defeating Natalya and Tamina on the September 20, 2021 episode of Raw. Rhea and Nikki won the rematch 2 weeks later before dropping the titles to Carmella and Zelina Vega in November 2021. In 9th place, we have the team of Sasha Banks and Naomi, who held the Women's Tag Team Championships for 46 days. Team Bad reunited after 7 years in February 2022 as Sasha and Naomi set their focus on the Women's Tag Team titles. Sasha and Naomi got their shot at Carmella and Zelina Vega at WrestleMania 38, along with the teams of Natalya and Tamina, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. This very action-packed match saw Sasha Banks get her first ever WrestleMania win and secure Team Bad the titles. The two defended the titles twice on TV, once on Raw against Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, then followed by a title defense on SmackDown after they defeated Shayna and Natalya in their final ever WWE match before quitting WWE on the following Raw, which vacated the women's tag team titles for several months. In 8th place, we have the team of Natalya and Tamina, who held the women's tag team championships for 129 days. At WrestleMania 37, Natalya and Tamina won a gauntlet match to earn a title shot at Shayna and Nia the following night. Natalya and Tamina lost this match. Natalya and Tamina won the rematch on the May 14, 2021 episode of SmackDown. Over the following weeks, Natalya and Tamina defeated Nia and Shayna 2 more times before losing the titles to Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross in September 2021. In 7th place, we have the team of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay of the Iconics, who held the women's tag team championships for 120 days. WrestleMania 35 saw Sasha Banks and Bayley put their titles on the line against the Iconics, Nia and Tamina, Natalya and Beth Phoenix. This action-packed match saw Peyton Royce and Billie Kay become the second ever WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. The Iconics had 3 successful title defenses, first against local talent, followed by Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and then followed by the Kabuki Warriors. Peyton and Billie lost their championships to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in August 2019. In 6th place, we have the team of Carmella and Zelina Vega, who held the women's tag team championships for 131 days. During autumn of 2021, Zelina Vega had been crowned as the Queen of WWE, while Carmella gained momentum with a mask gimmick. The two formed to challenge Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross on the November 22, 2021 episode of Raw, which saw Zelina and Carmella win the titles. During their 4-month title reign, the team only defended the title once on the January 3, 2022 episode of Raw to Rhea and Nikki. The team walked into WrestleMania 38 as champions, but dropped the titles to Naomi and Sasha Banks. Before we reveal the top 5, we would quickly like to recommend that you check out our videos ranking the greatest Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions ever after this video. In 5th place, we have the team of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who are 2-time Women's Tag Team Champions for a combined 123 days. The unlikely team of Alexa and Nikki formed in summer of 2019 as Alexa tried to use Nikki to help her win the SmackDown Women's title. After failing to do so, the team focused on the women's tag team titles as they won the titles on the August 5, 2019 episode of Raw. Alexa and Nikki retained in 3 different matches against the Iconics, the Kabuki Warriors and Fire and Desire. Alexa and Nikki lost the titles at Hell in a Cell 2019 to Kabuki Warriors. The team got a rematch at WrestleMania 36 and reclaimed the titles to become the first 2-time women's tag team champions. Alexa and Nikki retained 3 more times against Kabuki Warriors, Carmella and Dana Brooke and the Iconics, before losing the titles to Sasha Banks and Bayley in June 2020. In 4th place, we have the team of Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, who are 2-time women's tag team champions for a combined 215 days. Shayna and Nia defeated Sasha Banks and Bayley to win the titles at the 2020 Payback pay-per-view. The following SmackDown, Nia and Shayna won the rematch. The team retained over Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott and then Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke before losing to Charlotte and Asuka at the 2020 TLC pay-per-view. The team won the rematch and the titles at the 2021 Royal Rumble kickoff show. The team retained over Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair twice. They retained over Dakota Kai and Raquel on NXT, Naomi and Lana on Raw, and Natalya and Tamina at WrestleMania 37. The team lost the titles to Natalya and Tamina on SmackDown in May 2021. In 3rd place, we have the team of Dakota Kai and Io Sky of Damage Control, who are 2-time women's tag team champions for a combined 162 days. After failing to win the tag team championships in August, Dakota and Io were granted a rematch on the September 12th edition of Raw, which saw Damage Control defeat Aaliyah and Raquel to win the titles. During this title reign, Damage Control managed to retain against Raquel and Shotzi before being challenged and defeated by Alexa Bliss and Asuka on the Halloween edition of Raw. The following Saturday, Damage Control got a rematch at Alexa and Asuka. This ended up being a fantastic match, which saw Dakota Kai and Io Sky reclaim the women's tag team titles. During this title reign, Damage Control retained over Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox. Damage Control were feuding with Becky Lynch throughout this title reign as Lita and Becky managed to defeat Dakota and Io in February 2023 on Raw. The match quality was brilliant throughout these title reigns, which is why we have placed it third. In second place, we have the team of Asuka and Kairi Sane of Kabuki Warriors, who held the women's tag team titles for 180 days. The longest WWE Women's Tag Team title reign ever started at the 2019 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view as Asuka and Kairi defeated Alexa and Nikki to win the titles. The team first defended against Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox on NXT, followed by a fatal four-way victory at Starrcade 2019. Their last defense took place in the main event of TLC 2019 as the team defeated Becky and Charlotte in a TLC match. Their title reign came to an end at WrestleMania 36 against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss in the WrestleMania opener. In first place, we have the team of Sasha Banks and Bayley, who are two-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champions for a combined 134 days. The first ever WWE Women's Tag Team title match was inside Elimination Chamber in 2019 as Sasha Banks and Bayley became the first ever Women's Tag Team Champions. Their first reign only saw the team retain over Nia and Tamina at the 2019 Fastlane pay-per-view before they lost the titles to the Iconics at WrestleMania 35. Their second and best women's tag team title reign began on the June 5, 2020 episode of SmackDown as they defeated Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. In our opinion, Bayley and Sasha Banks carried WWE programming during summer 2020, which was during the COVID-19 pandemic. Bayley and Sasha did this by wrestling and defending the women's tag team titles on every brand. Sasha and Bayley first retained at Backlash 2020 by defeating Alexa and Nikki and the Iconics. A few days later, Sasha and Bayley traveled to NXT to defend the titles against Shotzi and Tegan. The following Raw, Sasha and Bayley retained over the Iconics. Their next title defense was against the Kabuki Warriors on Raw. During this time, Bayley held the SmackDown Women's title and Sasha Banks won the Raw Women's title, meaning they carried every main roster title during this time. The team started to crumble at SummerSlam 2020 when Sasha lost her title. The following week, Bayley and Sasha lost the women's tag team titles and the team split 1 week later. In our opinion, no one elevated the women's tag team titles more than Bayley and Sasha Banks. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content. Please like the video, leave a comment with your thoughts without spoiling the video, and check out our channel for more videos. We thank you for watching.